Good evening and thank you for joining us. Thunder Bay residents joined thousands of other Canadians and laced up for a good cause. The 28th annual CIBC Run for the Cure made its return today to help raise awareness and funds for breast cancer research and support. Jessica Clement has a story.
Despite the cold wind, residents made their way to the Royal Canadian Legion track on Saturday with the common goal of changing the future of breast cancer forever. The 28th annual CIBC Run for the Cure saw over 260 participants who either ran, walked, or rolled 1 or 5 kilometers to show their support for those affected by breast cancer and who may be going through breast cancer treatment. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Run Director Bonnie Titafronte says it's important to hold the run every year.
We see our survivors, they come out every year. We know we're making a difference at early detection, better treatments, and just more support, and just the community as itself supporting all of these women who are battling through, have already battled through, and for the ones that I'm sure are coming up, which we hope lessens every time, and we just keep continuing to do it.
Titafronte notes this year the Thunder Bay branch raised over $58,000, with the number continuing to grow. She adds that the run makes a huge difference, with the majority of the funds raised going into research.
We have many research facilities that are mostly located, of course, unfortunately, outside of our city. I know a lot of people do get concerned about that the money raised here doesn't stay in the city, but it does help all of our people that are going through breast cancer. The money comes back with the research, the advancements, the better care at our facilities, and so we continue to support it. And the money also helps with families that might need help support during their treatment.
Danny Soares, Signature Program Manager of the Canadian Cancer Society, says they're hoping to get the federal government to lower the age of getting tested for breast cancer to 40 in all provinces and territories.
So right now we are preparing a letter to the Canada Minister of Health. When cancer is detected earlier, we have more treatments available and options available for people. So the sooner we can catch it, the sooner that we can have more options available and people can live longer, fuller lives.
If you would like to donate or learn more, you can go online to cibcrunforthecure.com. Jessica Clement, TBT News.
A big night at City Hall tomorrow, as staff are asking Council for a major increase to the Affordable Rental Housing Funding Program. If Council approves it tomorrow, $4 million from the Renew Thunder Bay Fund will be used as the city awaits more dollars from the Federal Housing Accelerator Fund. It would help build 130 new affordable units and 114 new market units throughout the city. That would be accomplished by providing more than $5.5 million to 6 nonprofit and Indigenous organizations. The estimated value of the builds is $52 million. City Project Manager Summer Stevenson explains how these chosen projects can secure their funding.
The caveat with all of this funding is that when these organizations sign the agreement with the city, they have 12 months to secure a building permit. After 12 months, we can say either this project is almost there and you will extend it, or we say, let's take a break. Maybe there's another project in the city somewhere that is shovel ready. But we are expecting all of these projects to receive a building permit within 12 months.
Stevenson says any of the money not used will just be returned to the Renew Thunder Bay Fund. The federal NDP leader continues to challenge the Liberals' carbon tax, believing the burden is being put on working Canadians. That was Jagmeet Singh's stance when asked about the carbon tax during his visit to Thunder Bay this week, but the NDP leader wouldn't specify whether some form of carbon pricing is in his party's plan. It's expected to be a defining issue of our nation's next federal election.
We look at the approach of Justin Trudeau. His approach has been one to divide the country.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh reiterated his stance on the Liberals' carbon tax, saying the burden is being put on working Canadians. The Trudeau Liberals say the tax is an incentive for people and businesses to pollute less. Singh wouldn't offer a solution at this point, but says the current plan provides a range of burden depending where you are in the country, while prioritizing big polluters.
He started giving advantages to people in the Atlantic region that pit that region against other parts of the country. I think that's divisive. I think that's wrong. And we see what he's doing in terms of who he's giving an advantage to, big oil and gas companies continue to get billions of dollars of public money. That's wrong.
The carbon tax program provides rebates to Canadians, with it being found that 80% of people receive more back from the rebates than they pay into the tax. Singh was asked how an NDP government could tackle big polluters, though he couldn't provide specifics to his party's plan.
We saw a lot of examples of the Liberals caving to big polluters. So there was an article that came out that said the Liberals were considering putting a excess profit tax on big oil and gas companies. We had pushed them to consider canceling the big subsidies that they're getting, but they backtracked. The oil and gas lobbyists met them in Ottawa, and then they backtracked. So clearly they don't have the strength, they don't have the courage to take them on. We do.
The Conservative government has been even more critical of the Liberals' carbon tax and are calling for it to be scrapped altogether. The 5 communities in the Independent First Nations Alliance recently reached a fire safety milestone as 14 members graduated from the Ontario Fire College's Fire and Life Safety Educator course.
It's the first time that we've had, this many graduates, but also every member nation of IFNO is represented at the training, as recommended by the Ontario Fire Marshal and basically any fire expert that you talk to. The one thing that every community can do is ensure fire education and safety in the communities, both at the school level and in the homes, so that kids know what to do in a fire, so that parents are aware of what to do, and really ensuring there's a working smoke alarm in every home.
Emergency Services Director Nick Roan says with the amount of fire fatalities in the far north, having members be more educated on fire safety has been on the mind of their chiefs for some time. The graduates learn the basics of fire behavior and fire prevention, which they'll be able to bring back to their own communities to teach the youth and other members. Roan also adds this course is a beginning of a training relationship with the Ontario Fire Marshal's office.
We can ensure more certified training for our members. And moving forward, we're also going to be offering this training and other training in the actual communities themselves, probably as soon as later this fall and through into next year. So over the next few months, we'll be doing that and working with the communities for them to tell us what their priorities are as it relates to their fire training.
4 local high schools took part in a creativity and entrepreneurship training program this past week as part of the 2024 Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Conference. The seminar taught students taking specialist high skills major courses to search for creativity within and use it when solving problems. Approximately 200 students came to the Delta Hotel for the seminar, which was run by a creative firm called Being Stuck. Joel Hilchey is the executive producer, and he engages the students using fun activities and some silliness to demonstrate alternative ways of addressing problems. After they discovered their own creativity, they were tasked with solving a large-scale issue: how to promote Thunder Bay to young professionals and entrepreneurs. Hilchey says most students are far more creative than they think.
I think everybody solves problems, and that's why a day like today is so important for students. It's often showing them that they have something to contribute, more than just sort of the theoretical case studies that you might get in class. The best teachers offer kind of real-world, tangible problems for students.
Going into the arts, being creative is really important, and getting that creativity is a pretty big part of that. Digital media is really interesting with filming, and you need lots of ideas to brainstorm for stuff like that.
I'm looking at being a power line technician. I think it's very important, especially if you'd be working at heights and with high voltage, that creative problem solving would come in very handy for that.
A cat that was lost at a gas station in Uppsala has now begun his journey home to Prince Edward Island. Owner Crystal Nielsen says they were moving to the Atlantic province from Alberta, but when they stopped for a rest at the station on August 20th, Winston the cat ran away.
So we waited as long as we could, and there was no sign of him, and the trees were so thick there. So then about 3 days ago, I get a call from the gentleman. His name is Wyatt. He has a shop that's at the gas station there, and he had Winston, which I couldn't believe, same place that he got out. I'm like, how is that even possible? So he sent me a video clip, and he looks the same, sounds the same. I can't believe that he's even alive.
Nielsen was able to get in contact with Margaret Foster, a member of the Facebook group called Furry Hobos and Highway Heroes, who brought Winston to Thunder Bay. He now has to travel over 2,500 kilometers to get back home, but with an outpour of support from Facebook, they'll be able to get Winston as far as Montreal.
Now it's just from Montreal to PEI or as close as we can get, because I have no problem meeting at like closer to even the border of New Brunswick and Quebec. If we can get them out of Quebec and into the Atlantic province, I have no problem going to meet them. But this is where we're at now.
There's other animals that are out there lost, so if people find lost animals and that, reach out. And if you can help an animal that's lost get home, then it would be great, because that's what it's all about. It takes a village.
For those wanting to help bring Winston home, details can be found on TB Newswatch.